Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my sketchbook. It's another frosty day where I am. Springtime, April. How exciting is that? I'm just in the mood to draw something, and I'm going to see where it goes. Just sort of an adventure, I guess. Let's zoom in to start. I think I'm going to start by drawing a twig, maybe. It almost looks like a hand. That's interesting. What will happen if I draw another twig? I told somebody something about childhood. I went to hear someone sing, and that was really fun. And it was just a few days before her birthday. Lots of great cover songs. And I was sitting around. I think I was drinking a chocolate milk. And I said to this person's sister, one of a couple of sisters that were there actually, that I thought one of the most dangerous things on the planet was like a 5-year-old boy with a pointed stick. And she laughed. Now, that's a strange thing to say. But I think sometimes human beings have this built-in curiosity of how things work and what possibly is inside those things. I was never really into dismantling living creatures. I don't really enjoy seeing creatures, let's say, like on the side of the road that may have suffered after being struck by a car. I have this strange empathy thing, I guess. And that worries me. I don't know where this is going. This seems to turn into like a little bush, maybe. Well, what if we turn this into a creature? Is that possible? Let's see. It's not a hedgehog. What if we turned this into eyes? But maybe they're kind of like sunken in a little bit. And I don't want it to be kind of spooky. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. A creature that's dangerous. I've said something like that before. about the dangers of a 5-year-old with a pointed stick. I don't know if it's possible to keep your innocence of sorts in the modern age when you have access to so much information. I'm a big fan of not knowing. Now, I'm also a big fan of finding out bits and pieces of information. I don't know where this is going. Some part of this looks like a spiky... I don't know. What if I gave it teeth here? I'm a big fan of finding out stuff. I think it's an awesome thing to discover how certain things work. Now, I like taking apart electronic things. That to me is kind of fun. And when I do take things apart, for example, if there are screws, I would set up a piece of cardboard, and from left to right, I would put the screws, like I'd wind them into that piece of cardboard, and I know that the last screw that I put in will be the first one that I go back to in order to reassemble that thing. It saves me from trying to retain the order of what I'm doing. Suppose that's just a trick, because if you're dismantling stuff over a 2-hour-long period, you may not keep all that information. Now, I'm not superstitious. I don't believe that those who have gone before us really become ghosts. I do wonder, though, about energy. Like somehow if you scream, let's say, into certain materials, that it might keep an echo of the energy that you let out in that scream. I do wonder about that. That seems interesting. Echoes, I suppose, of energy. Like, what would be the point of a spirit trapped in some form, just waiting to communicate with somebody? I don't really see the point of that. But I think there might be a sensitivity of sorts that some people might have to certain places. So yeah, an echo. I feel like there was a Kevin Bacon movie that's somehow related to that. I think it was called Stir of Echoes. I think he started like digging somewhere on his property, and I think he was living on like orange juice or something like that. Let's soften some part of this, and let's turn this into a t-shirt of some kind. And maybe we can make this hand a little bit smaller. Kind of. Maybe we can add something to that t-shirt. What could be the semblance of a number. T-shirts were a fun thing when I was a kid. They are still, but if you had a t-shirt with your name on it, that was somehow really fun and cool. That stopped being cool quite some time ago, unless you're on a sports team, I guess, because it became a way for strangers to know your name. And there's power in your name, of course, that someone could call you and say that they know you and you don't know them, that perhaps your parents were sent to or sent that person. So you have to be aware of strangers and whatnot. This is kind of messy. I'm going to grab a cup and some water. Let's see here. For some reason, this started off looking a little kind of like Swamp Thing or something. I don't know. And now it turned into perhaps somebody playing in the mud and made a mud ball. How often have you heard that saying, April showers bring May flowers, and found it to be true? So much for those wild little twigs. I think if you're lucky, you can roll around in the mud. And I don't mean politics. I mean like just getting out, getting your hands dirty. So like on the weekend, I went and I got some Uh, mulch. That was fun for some yard work type stuff. Did a tire changeover as well. That was fun. Now, let's see. I'm not trying to do a laundry commercial here, by the way. I'm just playing around. Now, what if right up here, I just kind of like, dip the pen. Let's back this out just a little bit, actually. Yeah, I think that'll be okay there. I do think it's necessary to get back into playing, but not to take all of your time to do such a thing. I think it's probably some of the best ways to learn is if you're having fun. Let's see. This gives me an idea, maybe for tomorrow's video. I'll tell you this much, we always need rain. We don't need flooding, but we need to make sure that our water tables, our reservoirs are full. It's pretty important. Right up here, I'm going to say, nothing too complicated. I'm going to revisit this little nose. Just letting some of the detail come back. You know, I think it's fun. If you have kids, or you are a kid, I think you should plan a tea party. How awesome would that be? You know, invite some family over for some tea, and learn to make little little treats, little, I don't know, cookies and sandwiches. And drink tea with your pinky out. And sing songs. Maybe set your phone down for a little bit. I don't know, play a board game. Go outside. If you don't have space where you can put in a garden, have a mini garden. If you have a window somewhere that gets a decent amount of sun, plant something. Plant something that you can grow that just becomes a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Plant something that you can eat at some point. Let's say herbs. And take the time to let it grow. How cool is that? So if that's a little challenge, then, well, there you go. Grow something that you can eat. Before the week is through, I'm actually picking up a few teddy bears. I know that's unrelated to what I'm talking about, but I'm going to drop those off at a fire station. I think that is going to be a neat thing. You may have heard me say this before, but they do often carry teddy bears with them. Well, I think that's going to be it. And of course, you can make your way to old videos there, or you can visit the channel in general, and you can subscribe and all that kind of stuff. But you can come back and hang out. If you have any thoughts or comments, you can leave them. I do make my way around them every so often, so I think that's going to be it, folks. All right, well, yeah, for something that I didn't know where it was going, that's kind of where it ends up. Yeah. Like I said, that's your chance to plant something in the background here. I'm going to put in a little flower. There we go. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, we'll see you again. Ciao for now.